No. Hey, how you doing, Miss Barter? You know, Miss Taylor on there going, putting the information out there. Big shout out to you, Miss Taylor. Pull yours up. I'll pull it up so you can see them.
Oh, this is some old shit.
Getting everything tapping in. Folks are tapping in now. What's going on, family? Hey, what's going on, Elijah? What's going on, Jolena? Getting everything tapping in. What's going on, family? Hey, what's going on, Elijah? What's going on, Jolena? Let me see.
I'm gonna catch on to this day.
Yeah, you do it. You do it, Bob. Peace and blessings, everybody. We appreciate everybody just always tapping in with us. Hey, what's going on, cousin Sherry? We'll see you. Miss Clinton, it said the Flint's water warrior. That is absolutely right. If you can like, share, and subscribe to the channel, make sure you share this out with your network. Make sure folks know that we got Miss McClinton and Democracy Defense League Black Lives Matter in the building, holding it down. We appreciate everybody for tapping in. We have a great show on deck today with some good information. I'm going to run down the countdown.
We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce. We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce. We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce.
My city experiencing a transition from penny pinching, maximizing our dollars, multiply triple digits. I came a long way from baby jars in a project kitchen.
Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. So we are here in the studio. Hello, everybody. Do a quick roll call to the family. Big shout out to you, Jolene, big representative for Democracy Defense League. Hey, how you doing, Yolanda? Black Lives Matter representing. How you doing there, Miss Taylor, Miss Bada? We appreciate you all. Appreciate you all when you all like and share and subscribe to the broadcast, and then just continue to watch the content, because we want to make sure that we're informative and we're sharing this information out to the public. So if you can share this live stream, if you can like it, we greatly appreciate it. So we have our special guest. This is Mama's Claire show, Democracy Defense League. I'm the guest today.
Yes, thank you for your presence.
And you know, I love working with Mama Claire. So we'll be kind of diving in some of the activities taking place around the city, giving updates and announcements, just making sure that we are definitely being very communicative and transparent for Flint City. And then also any other updates, announcement. Hey, how you doing, Miss Joyce, who is now the president of the Flint School Board? Big shout out to her. Mama, why don't you open this up?
Okay, well, first of all, happy King Day. It was yesterday, but happy belated King Day. And we paused on January 15th, and that holiday was a hard-fought event to get a holiday. It took years for it to become a holiday, and so we celebrate. Some of us go out and go to programs and hear about his legacy, and some of us do community service. A lot of the people who celebrate, they try to go out and do something for the community. So happy King Day. And tonight I'm hoping we can show an excerpt from a movie called At the River I Stand. And that was a documentary done by California Newsreel some years ago. And it really shows what happened in Memphis, Tennessee. And as we all know, Dr. King was in Memphis, Tennessee, doing what? Supporting Black labor, Black sanitation workers. He was called in to come and help. They were trying to organize a union. They were so mistreated by the city of Memphis that they worked for. So I'm just going to show, hopefully we can show an excerpt. And a lot of people are talking about that movie, Bayard Rustin. He's in this clip that we're going to see. And but the clip from this that we're showing is the real Bayard Rustin. So it's just a couple of minutes. So that's going to set us up for our next conversation.
Okay, well, we can We can transition to the video.
And again, the name of the documentary is called At the River I Stand, and it is on YouTube. At the River I Stand. It's a very powerful documentary about King's last days in Memphis.
Meanwhile, the white community rallies around the mayor.
Everywhere that Henry Loeb went, they give him a standing ovation.
Around the mayor.
Everywhere that Henry Loeb the black community, man, I can remember going to the Rotary Club and all those places, just everybody just clapping and carrying on. Everywhere. Sticking their hand in. So it's mighty hard to bow down. Just everybody just clapping and carrying on.
Memphis has been known for a better way of doing business.
Almost everybody stood rock solid that we white people knew what was best for those black people. And on that rock we stood for a couple of weeks. Not much longer though. Not much longer.
If you can't get a decent salary for men who are working in the name of God, how the hell are you going to get rid of poverty?
The movement begins to attract the attention of national civil rights leaders.
Now, one other point is happening here. There's been so much tension between some of the trade unions and some of the civil rights groups that all of the country people are telling me, you can't depend on the unions, they're anti-Negro, they won't stand with you. Well, I think the record here shows that in Memphis, this fight is going to be won because the black people in this community and the trade unions stand together, hand to back.
To maintain the momentum of the movement, James Lawson invites his old friend, Martin Luther King, to Memphis. As head of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, King has long seen the struggles for economic and civil rights as inseparable.
That is why Negroes support labor's demands and fight laws which curb labor. That is why the labor hater and labor baiter is virtually always a twin-headed creature, spewing anti-Negro epithets from one mouth and anti-labor propaganda from the other mouth.
To dramatize the connection between economic and civil rights, King has planned the Poor People's Campaign, a massive demonstration to be held in Washington that spring.
This will be no mere one-day march in Washington, but a trek to the nation's capital by suffering and outraged citizens who will go to stay until some definite and positive action is taken to provide jobs and income for the poor.
The Poor People's Campaign was being discussed before the strike broke out in Memphis. It just so happened that that's why we've always maintained that God was in Memphis. It just so happened that that's why we've always maintained that God was in
We got.
Is that the end of it? The 20.
Now we got the echo in the back. We got the echo too close.
It says the sound is off, need to turn off or back.
Yeah, what is that? I might gotta turn on Bluetooth and stuff. How's it sound now? Is the sound working?
It says the sound is off, need to turn off or back.
Yeah, what is that? I might gotta turn on Bluetooth. Is that how that sound? How that sound working? Let us know. Let us know if the sound is on. Let's see the sound. Okay, how's the sound now? They couldn't hear good. There you go. Jolena, how's the sound? See the sound. Okay. Okay. So how about you? If you want to go into like rehabbing of for what the message of that video, the time frame that we was talking.
Okay.
Because they heard some, but then some of it was just squeaking in the background, so it might be one of the connections. So why don't you kind of talk about it?
Okay. Well, there's a couple of things from that clipping that was significant, and again, I encourage people to download the movie from YouTube. It's called "At the River I Stand." And one of the things that was spoken about in that clip was how here you had Black sanitation workers. Some of them were getting killed on a job. It was dangerous and it was low, very low paying jobs. And many of them were on public assistance, even as they work as sanitation workers. And what we remember from that movement was the sign that the sanitation workers and many in the community that supported them carried the sign, "I am a man. I am a man." That was their symbol of going on strike and wanting the community to stand with them to be treated with dignity and respect. And one of the things in the clip was Beard Rustin was talking about the challenge of bringing together the organized labor movement and the civil rights movement. Mm-hmm. And King made it clear that he stood with labor. And Beard Rustin, who was an organizer, he was trying to bridge those gaps between those two movements and find commonality and strengthen that. So that was the challenges of that movement. And the other part of the clip shows one of the former city council was talking about the mayor at the time and how the powers to be, like the Chamber of Commerce of Memphis and these different power players, how they were treating the mayor as if he was a prince or a king. They was greeting him and loving on him and saying he was doing a good job by standing up against those sanitation workers and all that. But as the movie goes on, and as he said, a lot of that changed. Mm-hmm. So why celebrate King's birthday as civil rights icon and a humanitarian? Why would we celebrate him if we don't try to learn from the movement that he led and the struggle that was going on? Mm-hmm. That's not to say we got the same situation or we should do the same thing, but there are lessons that we need to learn from that movement, the victories as well as the defeats. So I thought that movie, every time you see that movie, and we used to show it every month over at Unitarian Church, but every time you see the movie, you learn something you didn't know before. Mm-hmm. So one of the lessons that we learned from King was that he supported workers having a decent wage. And in that clip, which we didn't get to finish, he talks about how the United States had accomplished so much in technology, going to the moon and going to the bottom of the ocean and all the wonderful things that were created under the system. Mm-hmm. He said, but with all that greatness, you can't feed the poor. You can't abolish poverty.
Right.
And he quotes from the Bible, and you fed me not. And it's very powerful the way he says it.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that King was a leader who not only supported civil rights, but human rights as far as having ability to feed your family and organize labor. So that's something that we should underscore about who he was.
Right.
The other thing we need to, and the timing of this is important because of what's happening in the world. And Martin Luther King took a stand against, at that time, the Vietnam War. There was a big peace movement going on. People were tired of sending our young people over there to Vietnam. And a lot of the young people were in the streets protesting the war. And today, we're sure that if he were alive, he would be calling for a ceasefire in Gaza and Israel. He was viciously attacked when he said he wanted to stop the Vietnam War. And he was attacked primarily from his own kind in the religious community. They attacked him for that viciously.
Let me ask you this, because we did kind of cover and touch upon this a little bit last week. When you got a brother like Martin Luther King, who is standing on the front lines for equality for Black people, and you got people at these churches, the Southern Christians, right? The Baptist preachers, right, from back in the day, like Solomon Lightfoot, right? Lightfoot Solomon, that was put up to speak down and denounce Martin Luther King. Why would you think Black people want to do that? Why would you think that people would want to go against somebody who is trying to fight for you? Is that a mental illness, or is that somebody just really wanting to, derail a movement, or are they working on behalf of the enemy?
Well,
that's a problem.
It's hard to get inside people's minds. But what we do know, and the struggle, whether it be the labor movement, the civil rights movement, or whatever movement, you're going to always have that dangerous element to try to derail the causes. This nothing new. But but we have to be aware of those people and fight in a way that they can't harm what we're trying to do. But it's not new. And that type of element is not new. But one of the problems is, if we don't know the history, we can't defend and stand on the victories and move forward. If you don't know the history, and I'm gonna give you a good example. The garbage company that we have now, with a contract till 2028, Priority.
Yeah.
They worked Monday. They worked yesterday. How can a garbage company work on the day that was fought for to be a holiday in this country, and the company that worked for Flint, which, by the way, is a ground zero for labor causes? That's one of our identities. And why would the administration and the head of Priority Company have their people working on Martin Luther King's birthday? He died defending the sanitation workers.
Well, I don't think this. I don't think this administration even takes someone like Martin Luther King or the impact that he has done serious, right? Because you would definitely lay off everybody from the city, even the city services.
City was shut down, but not the garbage.
You would suspend city services, though, right? in reference because
But the city
to
hall
recognize
was
it.
closed, but the sanitation people worked.
Right.
They're a private company. And so you had people out here at big celebrations talking about we shall overcome and all this stuff and fluff and stuff. And yet the garbage workers rolling on, no respect whatsoever. Just humiliating, especially in Flint. So I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Right. No, that's real.
All right. So
and I understand what she's saying when you're talking about a significant point, like a day of service, right? You know, on Martin Luther King Day, we normally doing a day of service, like right. I know we spent some time at the Elder Center, and you know, I did some things with the youth. It was just always about just doing something for, of course, the movement, something that I feel that deemed necessary and was reverence to Martin Luther King and his national service that he put forth for all of us. So
absolutely,
I appreciate, you know, just what the man did. I appreciate what that brother mean, but I think it's like we dealing with something real. Like some folks got a real issue. If you are not trying to do something that's going to be moving or advancing what Mr. King has done, if you're not following up in the fold, right, then you're doing us all a disservice. And I think we had to be very clear, just like how some of his own people was fighting him during the movement.
Yes.
Right? For whatever reason. I think something has to be done. What should we do with people who fight against the movement that's in betterment of us?
Well, it depends on how they're fighting against the movement, and we have to design strategies and tactics to neutralize them.
Okay.
You know, once you identify the enemy and how they operate, then you can design strategies and tactics to neutralize them, to prevent them from derailing what you're doing. And I just want to add one other point about that. King's legacy and what he stood for has been hijacked by the capitalist interests and corporate interests who detested him, and they have recreated him into something that he wasn't. You know, like I say, if they were truly following King's legacy, they would not have allowed sanitation workers to work. By the time the government people and the corporate people got through reinventing him and giving him another image.
Yeah.
He's not the king. He's not always presented as the king that we should really know and learn from. How often do we hear about his stand on against the war? We don't hear too much about that. And how he was viciously attacked. As a matter of fact, before he went to Washington, the March on Washington in 1963, they had a pre-march in Detroit. And again, he was viciously attacked by the preachers down there. It was very few preachers that stood and marched with him. And after he got killed, everybody had a picture of him in their church. But they didn't stand with him when he was alive.
So I mean, I got a problem with that, though. That doesn't make any sense. Like you know, you didn't support the man when he was out here, and he was out here putting his life on the line. And the moment he died, then you want to hang a picture and an image of him in, you know, your church. I think that's the weakest way. Like if you ain't out here supporting that man, if you ain't out here on the front line, if you didn't walk in Selma, if you didn't bring him to the church in the South, North, West, whatever the case may be, if you didn't stand on principle and even continue to talk about even some of the things that he challenged, when you talk about the voting rights, right? When you talk about civil rights, like if you wasn't talking about that stuff during those times, if you went down there at the Montgomery bus boycott for 385 days, if you ain't stand for none of that stuff, why would you put an image of him up, and why would you talk like you were a part of the struggle, like you was a part of the movement? And we had that same challenge today. Like folks just it takes somebody to die. It takes somebody to pay the ultimate sacrifice for you to get on board. By that time it's over. Folks is like burnt out, beat up, dead. And then now we want to put up an image. And like you said something very profound when you said the way that, you know, the conservatives and white America want to depict Martin Luther King.
Yes.
They ain't talking about how this brother was talking about we come to Washington to get our check. They ain't pushing that message about how he spoke out against the active wars that was going on in the country.
That's right.
They ain't even talk about that stuff. They want you to just talk about I have a dream. Which the brother did have a dream. And I respect his dream. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we living in reality. Right? And so what we want to do is put a pure depiction and really define and be the narrators behind Martin Luther King as we saw fit.
Yes.
Right? So like you've been around and you done seen champions and you've been on the front line and you are a champion, right? Tell us, give us the real, give us the skinny about what we need to know about being of young kings, being in national service, really paying honor and tribute to those folks who really fought for us in the past. Tell us like what we should be thinking about, what's some of the stuff that we should be studying. I'm thankful for the video that we tried to show, and we'll double back on the video.
Okay, good.
But please inform us.
Well, there's no one answer to it, but we do need education, a political education.
I agree.
Political economy. What type of society do we live in? And how is the society controlled by the 1%, as some call it? And how do they do that? And how do they control it? And who are the people? And this is the thing too. Who are the people that's holding up this inhumane system, depriving us of our existence, depriving us of the justice with the water crisis, depriving us of, I mean, let me give an example because I was going to cover this too. And the first thing we have to do, and this is not easy, it sounds like oh yeah, that's a good idea. No. Who is the enemy? Who are our friends and who is the enemy? Yeah. This is how we get off track a lot of times when we out trying to do something good. We don't recognize who the enemy is. And this, for me, is the source of a lot of bumping heads with each other out here in our community, because we're fighting the wrong thing. We have to get into the mindset of not who's wrong, but what's wrong.
I agree.
What is wrong? And it's a systemic thing. So it's not just a simple here and there, but how you can determine who the enemy is what side people line up on. You know, and a crisis always draw out the leaders. A crisis will draw out the enemy. You can see them good in a crisis, like the water crisis. You know, we can definitely tell who's who.
Okay.
And people you thought was on your side that are not on your side.
Come on. Come on.
A crisis will bring people together with common interests. In our over the years when we've had the events, and let me clear this up.
Please do.
When we have those annual events of the water crisis, they are not celebrations.
Come on now.
They're commemorations.
Just like when we celebrate with our families, it's a get together, not a picnic.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
to celebrate your culture.
Yeah.
But they want to make it look like we just out there. No. When we have our commemoration, we try to incorporate taking a stand. We've been to Lansing on several of those days, several of commemoration. Went to Lansing, had rallies. The last one we had was talking about unfinished business, what we got to do to really resolve the problem.
Right.
And so we're going to be doing some big things next year. But one of the things I want to point out is that when in a crisis, people show you who they are, and it helps us to advance because we know we got to deal with them, get them out the way, neutralize them, or do whatever. But I want to talk about Eric May's case.
Come on, Eric.
Eric, and he had the emergency, his attorneys filed an emergency order, and a lot of us was able to get a hold to the Zoom link, and we got to hear most of it.
They shut it down too, though.
Yeah,
they didn't let people stay in the room.
Yeah, but they was not ready, and I thought this was kind of cool. They wasn't ready for all them people to be on that line.
No, but I love how we bombarded that line.
Yeah,
like they was looking like, they like all this popularity going on just in this case.
Yeah, they wasn't used to that.
And shout out to Eric, man. I know it'll be a lot going on, man. We holding you up in prayer, and we want to make sure that you know that you support it. Because the people in the first ward right now do not have a voice at city council, and I think that's something that get lost. I know everybody's there for Eric, but always remember it's those people in the first ward, man, that need a voice down at City Hall and them chambers. It's gonna push them resolutions.
True that.
So we want to make sure that we give a big salute to Eric and everybody in the first ward.
That's right, true that. So his attorneys were seeking, and at one point on the call, Eric said, "Well, do I have to call in also?" Because they had told all the people to call in. But anyway,
be sure to like and share and subscribe. Can we have everybody on there to like and share? Please do it. Right? Share with your networks because we are dropping some pertinent information. And I love how Mama Claire breaks this down, right? When we talking things in subjects. So right now we describing what's going on with Eric Mays, and then also he had a court cases just recently. So be sure to like and subscribe so everybody's getting this information.
Right. So Eric and his attorneys were seeking a temporary restraining order about having been removed for 90 days. Right. They wanted the judge to intervene and say, until we get this worked out through trial or whatever, send him back to his seat. Of course, we all know now that was denied. But here's a little interesting tidbit about the judge he had down here in federal court, Judge Bean.
Yep.
Now, she was the circuit court judge here before Biden named her as a federal court judge.
Yeah,
she's the same judge that dropped the charges against Snyder. Y'all,
I don't think they need to say that again because didn't Biden appoint her to be a federal judge?
Federal, yes.
She's not there anymore.
She's not. She was circuit court. That's how she became Eric's judge. Eric was in federal court.
Got you.
Eric was in federal court. Now, isn't that interesting that she would get the case compared to some other federal judge? And she's the one, after the Supreme Court botched the case with Snyder and his 7 co-defendants, but Snyder was the last one to go to court. And of course, the Supreme Court had dropped all the cases about the one-man grand jury, but this judge that Eric went before is the same judge that dropped Snyder's case. So that's a little bit close to home, ain't it?
Let's make sure that we define that, right? So the same judge that Eric just went to go see about him being kicked out of city council for 90 days. Kim Bean.
Bean.
Yep. K. Bean. She is the same judge that was appointed to the federal courts by Joe Biden.
See?
This is the same judge that dropped the charges against Rick Snyder. So you got to see how those things intertwine with each other. So, and when we went on there, it didn't look like that brother had a chance, man. I think that decision was already made in the back end, right? They already talked about it and said we're going to go through the formalities, but we know what we're going to do and we know what the outcome is going to be. So that's why it's so important to make sure that we vote, right? It's so important that we got the right people that's in those seats. You better have somebody in there that's going to be transparent, right? That's fair and balanced. That's just not doing something because somebody tapped him on the shoulder, right? Those things are critical. And for us, we have to be mindful of that. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Yes, That was interesting. And but the other thing we're going to talk about a little bit this evening is we're going to talk about city council, and we're going to talk about how there's some energy developing in our community, thank goodness.
Okay.
About people are beginning to stand up and resist.
Come on.
What's going on down at city council. And
yeah,
DeWaun, if you could play the video when the president of the council put out the young woman.
Yeah, I sure will. Did you see? Let me get this up. So while I'm pulling it up, why don't you kind of give them some reference to it?
Okay.
What you
so the video that he's going to show is the president of the council just being just unreasonable and ruthless and mean-spirited toward a resident. And they made a big deal out of it, and they were going to arrest her. That's what they were going to do. And this just so happened to be the same meeting that they had on the agenda to put, I think that was the same meeting to put Eric out for 90 days. But before they even got to that resolution, they called him out of order. And
is that the same resolution to put Candace Mushat on the 7th Ward ballot? Or that was
I think that came later.
Okay. So as you see, it's a lot of resolutions that be on the table at Flint City Council. Sometimes we don't never see them. But, you know, the fact of the matter is, she was referring to a fact where there was an audience member, a young lady that was in the crowd in the audience. I guess Ladell Lewis felt a certain type of way about what's being said and tried to have her removed and sent to jail, right? Or what have you, right?
Yes.
And we're going to play that clip so you can have some reverence to what she's talking about.
Okay.
But that be the thing when we're talking about we got to be accountable to ourselves, and you know we got to have folks that's in position that's going to step up against these things.
Okay. So this is a snapshot of the abuse that's going on down there at the city hall and the disregard for the community. The disregard over the $40 million going to general funds. We're going to talk about that. We're going to just mention this. Everybody knows about it, about the 40 million. We talk about the auction that took place and violating what we believe was the proper procedures for those people to lose their homes. And the failure of the city council as a council to step up and fight back against these heinous acts. Now, there is some fighting back, but I want to show, if people weren't there, this video shows you what is happening. You don't get to see that on the city council meetings and stuff like that. You need me to send that to you again?
Yeah, I just got it pulled up.
Okay.
But you can still kind of go where you was going with it, because you're right. You don't see this type of video or these angles on the Flint City Council meetings or anybody recording those meetings. Like, you have to be there, and then sometimes people capture it with their cell phones and things of that nature. So these meetings is just being there.
Yes, a cell phone can be a very fine weapon, as we've learned in recent years, when people can record use.
And I still, me and the young lady, we stay locked in and have conversations about it. That could be a very traumatizing situation for folks. And so um, we want to do our job to be able to protect each other. And if you got any questions, anything that you want to bring out, some things that we need to tap in on and share, please inform us. Okay.
And after he shows this video, every time, everything they do is another assault on the residents, us as human beings, not to mention as taxpayers. And all they're doing is energizing the resistance that's out here. And there is a growing resistance to what is happening, because after what we've been through, enough is just enough. And one of the advantages of the petition drive to recall some of these candidates is that you get to talk to people one-on-one, and a lot of people do not know what's going on. But these recall petitions give opportunity to talk to each other. Why are you trying to do something about it? So out here, we have to explain to them what it's all about, get their signatures, and when it came on the ballot, they already knew what to do because they had been kind of briefed through this petition drive. And I see this happening with these recalls, that they already knew what to do because they had been briefed through this petition drive. I see this happening with these recalls, they never knew what to do. They had been briefed through this petition drive. I see this
A few moments later.
Disorderly conduct. I'm not gonna work. That's all.
I have a right to ride the elevator, make sure she okay. I'm not, you don't, for me. No, because this is. They take her down here and she's there by herself. That's not you should be ashamed. I gotta restrict me from the charge of building. I gotta restrict my body from this. Race soldiers and the K9, they call the race soldiers. They call the race soldiers. They call the race soldiers and the K9, y'all, one more girl.
They could really just let her go.
I've never seen all that before. So I gotta go with it. That's fine. You guys keep her in a position. No, I'm Samantha. I asked you just to move off the phone and let her get up. But you wouldn't.
A few moments later.
Bring it back in. All right, as you just saw, the video presented. I gotta turn this off. So, do you want to rehash over what you just saw in that video so folks can understand?
Well, I think you could do that as well because you all, and we was proud that you all were there, and there were several other community people, and Tia, and shout out to Tanya Burns who was there as well, making sure that we followed her down. They said they were going to arrest her, and it was about what, eight or 10 people. Black Lives Matter. Tanya Burns, shout out to her. Tia from and other community members, and we followed her down the stairs till we seen that she wasn't going to be harmed, and they eventually let her go.
Yeah, no, and I think you just kind of elaborate to that, man. Like when we talk about standing up for our women, our children, just standing up for our community. You know, that's something that we just supposed to do. You know, it doesn't matter if we, you know, face going to jail and, you know, being locked up and all the different things. You know what I'm saying? I'd have had my rodeos. I'd have been locked up, been in a hole, and been, you know, attacked by police and fought police myself. So those things don't matter. But when we stand together and we stand for one cause and we make sure we feel protection, you know, that makes them look at it in a different way. Like, you know, they're second guess, even them getting involved with trying to take a young lady down to jail because she voiced an opinion about what's messed up in this city. And when you got city council folks is acting a fool, and then you want to get
ordering the arrest.
Ordering the arrest, you want to get mad and order the arrest of a tax-paying citizen, man. You know, that's just not gonna fly. So no, we stand up, and we're gonna fight against that all day, every day. What's the police officer name? Metcalf. Listen, man, let me tell you this one thing for sure, man. Don't you ever in your life threaten me with some jail. There's one thing that ain't gonna fly. You know, I could care less about what you think. And you try to go ahead and put some cuffs on me. Listen, man, you got another thing coming. Ain't Chief Green. Nobody else is gonna be able to do nothing about that. So furthermore, man, we out there and we standing up, which we gonna be always at these city councils having a presence, man. Big shout out to Brother Rodney Thomas that was down there too, man, and big stepping with it. We're gonna be there. So, you know, if things get out of line, then, you know, we're gonna make sure we do our due diligence and, you know, being a foundation and being a support and ensuring that everybody is safe.
Yes.
So no, I appreciate that, Mama. I appreciate everybody that was there. I love to see us come together. Like when you see just all of us walking down the hall, making sure that that young lady wasn't on the elevator. You know, with just police officers. Are y'all crazy? Like normally back in the day, that's how they used to whoop on folks, right? Take them in the elevator, whoop on them, right? And you know, you wouldn't be able to saw what happened. So it's a beautiful thing when we are all able to come out, step up, be walking downstairs, make sure that we walked her out to the car, make sure that, you know, she felt comfortable, right? You know, because that's a traumatizing experience. And so I appreciate the community for standing strong, man, and being about that cause. Big shout out to Councilwoman Tanya Burns, 6th Ward. Like, you know what I'm saying? You earn a lot of respect from me, you know, even just being down there, getting out the chair, walking down there, and being a part of the movement, right there on the ground floor. So big kudos to you too, and everybody else who was there. So you know that was a beautiful show of unity in Flint.
All right. Yes, it was, and I think that was I don't know who did the video, but it was a good thing because again, as you said earlier, DeWaun, these are things that the public don't see on the regular recording of city council.
They won't see that.
So, but these are the type of things that's going on, and everybody do need to see it. So you can understand why people are so adamant to be a participant in these recalls. The lack of respect for residents, and we talked about it earlier, having the sanitation out there on King Day, no respect, no respect at all.
Right.
And so $40 million from ARPA going to the general fund. The city council, they're waving a white flag and surrender to these things, because why are you handing over your authority and your power over the money? Why would you put that money in the general fund? They're saying that when it comes back, the mayor they have to approve it and all this. That is just a smoke screen. There's a lot of money that's gonna fly out the door through the ARPA funds, and the city council ain't gonna see hide nor hair of it. And we ain't seen hide nor hair of it so far anyway. And then you had the ARPA committee. They met in secret and came up with what they thought should be done with the money. And I don't disparage the people that was on the committee, because a lot of them came there thinking they were trying to help, you know. But the reality of it is that they undermine, not knowingly, but that committee was set up, and it undermined the authority of the Flint City Council. Why would you, as a council person, hand over your power, hand over your authority over the money that was sent here directly from Flint? You don't have to ask the governor. You don't have to ask Tom, Dick, and Harry. The council has, or should have, control over this ARPA money. And that's why we consistently said that that's our money. Because the council, not even the administration, has authority over the money. It's the council. And they consistently handed over their power to an ARPA committee. They handed over the $40 million. That's almost half the money that was sent here. And then they had the mayor gets to spend $75,000 without coming to council to ask for it.
You know, one thing that we have done when, because to be honest with you, the mayor, Sheldon Neely running around like, you know, those is his dollars, right?
Exactly.
He out there making promises, willing and dealing, you know, trying to make a move to go to Congress seat. You know, it's the same old play, like, you know, and it's a shame on folks, man, who participate in that behavior, right? If you sitting up here taking peanuts and crumbs just because you want to be a footstool for the, you know, Sheldon Nealon to be able to do what he want to do, then it's a shame on you. I'm talking about all the churches in these congregations. I'm talking about all these heads at these community centers. I'm talking about some of these councils, the 5 that sit on there, right? There's benefiting off the ARPA dollars. The dollars is going directly to their nonprofits. Like, y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Now, you know it's going to come back, and when it comes back, it's going to be hot. That's why folks don't be want to, you know, potentially run in May, right? They're scared of recall. They want to do action in their wars now, right? To go ahead and offset the recall. But the thing is this, like, you know, when that guy is spending that money, the way that he's spending it and making these promises and giving it to folks that he sees is a benefit for him, right? You know, that goes against, you know, the initiative and objective that this community outlined for those dollars. Those dollars were our dollars. It didn't have nothing to do. It didn't have to go to no nonprofit. It had to go to land bank. It had to go to Habitat for Humanity. It went straight to the city of Flint Coffers, right?
That's right.
So meaning that, you know, when folks having all these convenings, all these meetings, and people are writing out these applications of where they want these dollars to go, they said where they want these monies to take place. We said $16 million for renovation and property.
What we said.
But now that when she's breaking it down and saying the $40 million that we did have in ARPA fund has been moved to the general fund, right? And now it's up to however they feel necessary when they want to spend their money.
Yeah.
Can't allow those things, right? You know, that's where I say, you know, that's where we have to be standing up. That's where we have to be at these council meetings. That's why we have to be in committee. That's why it's so important to be a part of, you know, Democracy Defense League. It's so important to be a part of Black Lives Matter because they watching the dollars and they reporting on this information. They giving you the outcome. So that way now you know how to fight. Earlier you said you got to know your enemy. If you don't know your enemy, then you just out here fighting. You don't know who to go fight. And you fight with everybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry, right? And you may not necessarily be successful because you're not addressing it toward the right person or agency or group or body, right? These things have to be known. So when we're talking about these things, Mama Claire, when we having these conversations, we are dropping this information on the public so then that way it can activate you.
Yeah.
Right? So when we have $40 million, everybody should be mad as hell. You done took that $40 million out that ARPA fund and them 5 folks that voted for it to move it to the general, then those are the people in those wars should be getting mad. You should be holding those folks accountable because all the time, our elected officials work for us. It don't matter if you the city council, county commissioner, the clerk, the mayor, whatever. Those are elected positions. State rep. If folks ain't voting for you or the salaries that they making is taxpayers' dollars, then you have to know that you hold the control. So we just got to get back in control of our affairs.
Yes. And another thing that I would like to say is that we know that they have the fabulous 5 to rubber stamp whatever the administration wants to do. And that's how that 40 million got transferred. But we want to continue to support and stand up and encourage the other members of council. I don't care if it ain't but one of them. And they already took Eric out. But the rest of them, they need to continue to fight, even if they know they don't have the votes. One of the feedback we got was, that's money's gone. No, it's not. It's not gone.
I think
but you letting it go. And you need to stand up and fight for it.
Right.
Even if you don't have the votes. That's one of the things that's outstanding about Eric. If he just by himself, he gonna fight. And when he fights, he's educating the public about the wrongdoings going on down there. So we can't give a pass to the other 4. You know, just because they got a fabulous 5, they still got to fight. And I was told by one council person, well, we don't have the vote, so the money, you might as well say the money's gone. Well, don't you have a voice? Are you just going to wave the white flag and surrender?
Let me put this in perspective for you, right?
Yeah.
When you talking about, you know, oh, that's money lost. Make sure you like, everybody like and subscribe. Everybody on here, make sure you like and share and subscribe to the channel now. You know, she dropping some knowledge. So when they say, listen, there's water under the bridge, your money's gone, right? That's just like if you were illegally put out your house, right? Would you say, oh, they got me, they put me up, right? I'm not even gonna fight about it. When this money is illegally moved, right? When you should think about it like that, right? You know, think about it in this fashion. When something was done to you, something was done wrong to you. Would you allow it and let it stand, or you gonna say, no, I do not agree with this, and I'm gonna fight it? This is like you going to court for a case, right? Are you just gonna be like, oh, well, forget it. I'm just gonna do this 10 years and then that's that. Or you gonna be like, nah, you got to convict me beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm gonna fight against it, right? That's a fighter spirit.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we talk about in this community, like, what's up, Miss Tracy? What's up, Aaron? That's like when we talk about in this community, like, we can't just say, oh, you know, that money's gone. That $40 million that them 5 council members took, that's out of there. We not getting it back. With that attitude, they gonna take more than $40 million from you. They end up taking your house, just like they took them houses, and people now they got to pay rent to an organization that just was created months ago. I'm just saying, it's these things. If we don't start fighting for something, if we don't start standing for something, then we're gonna fall for anything. So I want to raise the issue too with Miss Bada, the Bada. They do have an active recall in the second war going on right now. That is being led by Miss Beverly Biggs. She is out there on the front lines, going down every street in the second war. And I know Mama Claire's gonna give an update as far as what came from the clerk office. But the thing is this, right? They are actively out there looking to change the seat in the second war. So if you want to be support, you want to go out there, you want to help, want to get some signatures, you want to connect with Miss Beverly Biggs, you want to connect with Miss Taylor, yeah, you can connect with Mama Claire, right? Well, these are the ways that they are showing action in the time that they're saying, like, these are the things that we want to get done. We want to break up this fabulous 5 that they call them. I don't know what's so fabulous about it though, but if that's the name for them, we just want to break up this 5 piece because they vote on everything that nearly bring down to city council chambers. We want to make sure that, you know, we flip those seats. So that is actively going on. You want to make sure that you definitely tap in with those wonderful ladies that's out there. They ain't talking about it, but they've been about it. So, man, we want to give a big shout out to Miss Beverly Biggs, big shout out to Miss Taylor, big shout out to Mama Claire, and all the groups that's out there mobilizing in the second war. And then in addition, right, we have to come back with the 7th war, right? We want to make sure that we give a big support for Miss Jan Marie, who is actively running for 7th Ward Councilwoman. She is getting signatures right now. She needs 75 signatures to get on the ballot. So if you living in the 7th Ward and you haven't signed that petition, or you want to get with Miss Taylor and you want to get with the good folks out there in the 7th Ward that's out there making a change and a difference, right? You want to make sure you check in, tap in with Miss Jan Marie. She's a solid woman, right? I had a pleasure having a conversation with her this past weekend. And I just love what she represents. See, you need folks that's going to really be about that. You need folks that's going to not play with them. They going to be up there at these meetings. They knowledgeable, right? And they're willing to sacrifice. They ain't trying to be sitting in no cozy position at a job, right? They ain't trying to get a lawnmower on the back end, right? And only cutting their grass. They ain't trying to get a contribution to their nonprofit to do some work and just pad the numbers. They ain't really made no impact. They ain't doing that. We need to be about it. So we want to make sure that we definitely tap in. And then also, thank you, Miss Brenda Board. We do have an election taking place in the 9th Ward. Listen, we are doing a casting call for the 9th Ward council person. If you are interested in running for a 9th Ward council person, you live in the 9th Ward, you want to connect with us. You want to get in a conversation. You want to be a part of the winning team. You want to go ahead and get some backing from some of these solid folks that's been out here on the front line. They know what to do. So if you're interested in that, you got about 2 weeks left to go ahead and get those signatures in. I think it's got to be about January 24th. Yeah, you want to make sure that you get those signatures in before the 24th. So if you are interested in running in the 9th Ward, you need to be coming to the front of the aisle or the front of the congregation now, right? That's right. We want to definitely talk to you. We got some questions. We got to get it in blood. With these folks that's running for office, listen, we got to make a sacrifice. We're not taking this, oh, you're going to do right by us and then get in the office and act like you don't know me. We just ain't taking it no more, mama. That's disrespectful. It's disrespectful for everybody who has played a part and who has continued on to act like they are the folks that took down Martin Luther King, like those fake, black pastors in the South, right? That eventually gave him away on a silver platter. We ain't rocking with that. And listen, if you try to do that to our people, then we gonna hurt you. Mom, we gotta be on that now.
Yeah.
We got to be like, we got to be dedicated like that.
Yes.
Because people they taking us our kindness for weakness.
That's right.
They just sitting up here playing with us and toying with us like we some children out here.
Yeah.
And we are not. We are grown, able-bodied people that's out here that expect folks to be doing the work. If you want to sit there, if you're not gonna do the work, get your ass on.
That's right.
Okay.
That's exactly right. And I just want to say that with all this things that's happening with Eric and putting our residents out, and the recall is gathering more steam and attracting more people to help. And that's what we got to bank on right now.
Yeah.
We got to take our leadership back. We got to take our city back by putting in the people. The people that has moved against us must be punished.
Come on now.
You must be punished. You're gonna have to pay for what you have done to us.
Come on.
This once in a lifetime money that you only scraping off crumbs for yourself. You must be held accountable for that. Yeah. You got to go.
We got it.
And so again, I'm gonna give out. This is a movement. This recall effort is a movement, part of a movement. So I'm going to again give out the number to Beverly Biggs. Her and her team has really been just some soldiers.
Come on now.
I mean, they represent what Flint is. Strong, determined, social justice minded. And how we got some of these people down on city council, they are nothing near what Flint represents. As far as our DNA and our character, So Beverly Biggs and her team, her husband, and some of the other young women that's just been out there in the trenches, like soldiers.
Yes.
They will not be daunted. And I want to bring this up now. There's some controversy over whether the signatures have to come from the new ward.
Yeah.
Because, all the wards were redistricted, and some of them had added on, some got some things taken away. So my understanding is Miss Beverly and the team has been concentrated on the new ward. Now the state is saying, no. You have to go get signatures from the candidate, from the council person's old ward. So from what I understand now, and I think you're going to have Dominique on your show here in a day or two.
Yeah.
But my understanding of it so far is that it's going to be up to the city clerk and the city attorney and the council to determine whether signatures must be drawn from the original district that elected that candidate or the new district. So we just got a big mess going on. And of course, we are all suspicious of why this is all popping up here at the last minute. Right. But we will not be deterred.
Come on now.
We will not back down, because the things that are happening is energizing some people that hasn't been involved before. Even there was a lot of discussion about the meeting at the church a couple of weeks ago. Some of those people have joined in with the recall.
Come on now.
All right.
That's
so
right.
we're picking up momentum here.
Come on.
Okay.
I knew we would.
So we got to ride with that momentum. And I'm so glad that DeWaun put the call out for candidates who want to step up and make a difference in our city.
Come on, listen. I'm at the end of the day, we all we got. I'm gonna reiterate. Make sure you like and share, subscribe to the channel. But more or less, when you got folks that's out there in these wards, 2nd, 7th, and 9th ward, like in May, we'll have the election for the 7th ward council person and also the 9th ward council person. So we need to be doing our research and our strategies now. We need to be talking. We need to be lining it up. We need to be getting with folks. We need to make sure that we had enough time to interview people and then also identify a plan of action, right? That's one thing for sure. And then 2, we need to make sure that, we are really, registered to vote. We need to have more voter education, make sure people got their license updated, make sure they got their voter card updated. She just talked about redistricting. We just went through a redistrict. If you don't know where you voting or you don't know your precinct, we need to be talking and discussing that right now. Let's not wait until it's voting time to folks running around on a break, which is about an hour, to go ahead and try to cast a vote, and they don't know where they voting at. Right. So we got some work to do on the front end as community. And that's what I love about this community. I love about us. I love that we so dedicated to making a change. We so dedicated to get out here and inform. But then now that people are just coming out the woodwork, which is beautiful. It's more people coming down to city council meetings, right? You got more people that's activating, that's on these lives, that's watching this stuff and engaged. Mm-hmm. Let's start really mobilizing folks, right? Let's get them going into the place where, hey, listen, they know what they're voting for. They know what issues are important to them, right? Mm-hmm. They know the players.
Yes.
They know how to shake a bush.
Yes.
And then they ready for some real results. And I think, in my age range and my group of people that I'm in, man, we ain't trying to hear no fluff talk, no come over here and talk about come vote for me. And we ain't seen you do nothing jack crap in our neighborhoods. Don't play with us. But now listen, we got the opportunity for you to get involved. So if you haven't done nothing and you want to get involved, we welcome you with open arms.
And again, you can contact Beverly Biggs at 810-610-4599. And also you can go to Democracy Defense League Facebook page. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be posting more and more things and events that's happening. Mm-hmm. But ending up on this positive note, slowly but surely, there's some momentum building with the social movement in Flint.
Yeah.
And in times like these, we find out who's who pretty quick.
You bet your bottom dollar.
You don't have it. They can. You can hide when it ain't nothing happening.
Right. Trust me, folks is hiding.
Your backstabbers and your snitches and your turncoats, they can hide in the bushes when it ain't nothing happening. But the minute something jump out,
about so all you rats,
yes,
all you turncoats, right? All you playing ball, all you backstabbers, all you snitches, right? I love mama coming in here talking that talk because that's what you right, man. Y'all is pathetic. Yeah. All you folks that carry the same energy of them guys that look like us, but not our kind, that took out Martin Luther King. Mm-hmm. You're doing the same stuff now. It's a rerun. Yes, it's a revolving door. The same stuff happened. This is 2024 now. The same stuff is happening though. Mm-hmm. Same stuff that was taking place in 56. We got to stop and we got to annihilate them guys. We got to really put them down. I'm just saying we got to really be about that.
Yeah.
And there's one way we can be very strategic about how we do it.
We can be strategic because this is nothing new in any kind of social justice movement in this capitalist system. Even when they were forming the unions, everybody didn't say let's lock hands and join them. No, it was a vicious a lot of inner struggles. Some of the people that was working in the plants said they didn't want nothing to do with striking.
Why was that?
Because they were afraid, and they were afraid that they did. When you get into a fight, you fight, you play to win, but you don't know if you will. And a lot of them did not want to jeopardize. They wanted to stay in good with the company because they felt like the company was going to take care of them.
Yeah, that is the worst way to even.
And a lot of them down there in the hole, when they locked the gates of the plant and all the workers went in the cafeteria, and then they had been organizing. This wasn't no just jump up and do something. They had been organizing in the plant for a while. So all the workers went to the cafeteria and they said, anybody that don't want to be in this strike, you can leave now. And a lot of them left. They walked out.
Because they was comfortable. They were comfortable with their salary. They was comfortable with their pay wages.
But they weren't comfortable, but they didn't want to take the risk.
What I'm saying is, like, some people, like, you know, they comfortable, like, I'm getting something. I'm content.
Yeah.
I don't want to risk not being able to feed my family.
Yeah.
Or getting fired from my job.
Yeah.
Right? Folks be feeling like that,
Yeah.
right? What I'm saying is, forget that. Listen, if I'm going to accept bare minimum, right? I'm not even going to accept bare minimum. Listen, sometimes you got to fight for this, mama. You got to be ready to get up there, and you got to be able to jeopardize it all. And everybody not going to do that. I'm just going to be honest with you. Everybody not going to do that. Everybody not in the position
and then
to do
they
it.
had some snitches in the process too, and they dealt with them accordingly. We'll talk about that another time.
So,
but that is not nothing new.
Yeah, I know it's the same old stuff. Everybody know that. I do appreciate everybody who tapped in onto the conversation, everybody who brought some value to the space. Listen, this 2024, we talked about this at the end of last year. We're not sitting up here taking peanuts. We're not taking each other for granted. We are really going to do the work. And if you are not dedicated to doing the work, if you are going against us doing the work, if you one of those folks that Mama Claire just called you out on, you a snitch, you a rat, backbiting, all that stuff, listen, we're going to call you out, but let alone we're going to take you out. We're not sitting up here. It's enough of letting people just be and operate the way they doing, especially if it's a detriment to us as a group. We're not taking that no more. We shouldn't have to take that no more. So it's not even something that we even go a lot. So I love what folks is doing when they calling out people on these conversations. I love people sitting up here standing up for what they believe in. I appreciate everybody who likes, these programs, and then also sharing with their network, because you don't know who else is trying to get connected to Miss Beverly Biggs. You don't know, it might be that struggling elder that's in the second ward that's just dissatisfied with what she's getting. Or you got that person that's in the seventh ward that's looking to get activated but don't know how. Or you got that person in the ninth ward that's want to run, right, but don't know the first thing about it. See, we got to be able to share these type of conversations. We got to be able to inform and enlighten one another, but then we got to get busy, right? So I have to make sure that I do my part, my role, which is my responsibilities, and I would do so. And then at the same token, we all have a role. We all have a part to play in making sure that Flint is a robust community.
Yes,
that we believe
and
in.
we're gonna, and again, ending up, we started out with talking about Martin Luther King, but what we look at is what can he teach us about how to be strong in this movement, this broad movement. But also, we're going to have in February for Black History Month, we're going to have a movie night, and hope all of you can come. And we're going to be showing the movie called The First Rainbow Coalition. The First Rainbow Coalition.
Come on now.
It's not the one that Jesse Jackson.
And Jesse stole that. Jesse stole that from the real soldiers, man. Listen, my brother Fred Hampton is turning over his grave for that type of crap. But that's what we're saying. Like, people be taking information, taking that stuff. But you need to know the origins. We ain't talking about them rainbow colors. That's silly stuff. We ain't talking about that. We talking about that group where there was different bodies, different groups of people. When you talk about, you had Black nationalists, you had white nationalists, you had the Spanish population, Puerto Ricans, right? Everybody coming together because what? Why? They found the interest in something common that they all were dealing with, right? They was all facing it, right? Just like when we talk about Black and white folks, some of these white folks is living just worse off than us Black people, right? We got people, I got folks that's in a rural area right now, right? They out there selling drugs, doing drugs, right? These white boys, right? They out there living day to day, right? They like, man, I don't know what's going on. But in their mind, they like, it's something taking place. and it's somebody that's keeping us hindered and that's oppressing us, right? So you got to think about it. So how can we meet on mutual interest on ground, like the Rainbow Coalition, the original Rainbow Coalition? That's how we got to fight in this community. We all dealing with it. Don't say you're not being affected by it. You living in Flint. We all are dealing with it. So let's find some mutual interest. Let's build a plan, right?
And yes, and coming
Let's get
soon.
to it.
And what and everything we do is to not. We're trying to learn things from history and from other movements. We're not trying to just share information just to know stuff. The question becomes, how can we use this to advance what we're trying to do? That's the purpose.
What you gonna do with it?
Yes.
What you gonna do with this newfound information?
And are you going to announce about Dominique being coming on?
Yeah, so we definitely coordinating that right now.
Oh,
though.
Okay.
So we'll have the city clerk, or the county clerk on, Dominique Clemens. We'll be having a conversation with him about some of that recall information, the language in the letter he had put out to the public about, where to get the signatures and from. I think those things have to be put out on the front end, right? You don't want people out here going to work and then they doing the wrong work.
Yeah.
Doing the wrong work.
And it also could affect the 7th Ward election because she was appointed to the 7th Ward.
That's a good question.
And so that election could be impacted as well. So this is some messy mess, but we can't be surprised when we know we standing up against the powers that be. And we're going to go into that in a future thing about who are the players that's pulling the puppet strings around here. And
you might have to come back next week with that.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people, they see these organizations, they see these foundations.
They don't know the names. We know each other's name, but we don't know the names of the puppeteers.
I like how she putting that. Listen, so you know what? We got some more heat on the way for you, right? We're gonna be laying it down for you about the puppeteers, and then all the people that's playing the part behind the scenes, pulling these strings, that got us going at each other, got us out here killing each other off, got each other fighting over, small resources, right? Those things have to be addressed. So now I just appreciate you, Mama Claire, for always standing on the front line, getting to it. You got anything pertinent coming up? Anything?
Not at the immediate, but be on the lookout for the show of this documentary that we're gonna show. The first Rainbow Coalition.
The first Rainbow Coalition that will be out. Right.
And again, I want to repeat, At the River I Stand on YouTube.
Yeah, give them that one more time.
At the River I Stand on YouTube.
And if you didn't get a chance to see the whole show in its entirety, we encourage you to come back, watch it, right? Make sure you like it, you share. We got an influx of people that just came on. Please go back and watch this show. We had some good information. If you were interested in the ARPA dollars, if you an organization or a company that's looking to apply for those dollars and didn't know the update, didn't get the information, we just broke down where the $40 million went, right? If you are looking to run into the 9th Ward, we want you to get connected, right? You may know somebody out there or somebody who's looking to get connected. And then also we need people to get activated in the 7th Ward with Jan Marie because she is running. She needs 75 names to get on the ballot. So make sure you help that young lady out. And then in the 2nd Ward, they do have an active recall taking place right now. They are looking to remove Liddell Lewis out of that seat because they don't feel that she is fit to do the job. So you have to go ahead and step up. You want to have a support or effort in that, please get with Miss Beverly Biggs, Mama Claire, or Miss Taylor. But once again, make sure y'all support the platform. This is Fli-City Blackout. We appreciate everybody who just be listening in and everybody who be tapping into these conversations. Jessica Edwards said she talked about the river. I stand on YouTube. Yes, the river. At the River I Stand on YouTube. That is definitely on YouTube right now. We apologize for
and you will not find a better movie about Dr. King than that one.
She know what you're talking about too. If she's saying you ain't gonna find it nowhere else, you're gonna look on there and you're gonna be able to get some good content. And I also want us to really research what Martin Luther King was about. Don't just go off of just don't go off of all this nonsense that's been, put out there about Martin Luther King, about his "I Have a Dream" speech. We know all that, right? You need to dig deeper, right? That brother was on some serious stuff, especially towards the end of his life. He was really fighting for equality, but he was talking about economics. We talking about group economics. We talking about social economics. We talking about getting the money, right? We talking about going to Washington and get our check. We are living in a capitalistic country.
That's right.
If we ain't got no money, then we can't fight power to power, right? You got to fight power with power. You got to have some resources. And I always go back to when we fighting as far as Black Lives Matter was fighting for the George Floyd Policing Act. We was fighting for that bill. It passed the House, it had to go to the Senate. It stalled in the Senate. But when that Asian hate bill came out, when them Asians was getting attacked all around the country, them folks in Atlanta, them boys in Atlanta had ran up on them and they shot. And, they got attacked and got beat up for a minute. They passed that Asian hate bill. They passed it with flying colors because they had the finances to do it. I want us to start playing the money game. We can be mad and be upset all day long, right? But if we got some money behind us, and this is real tough, we got some money behind us, they ain't gonna play with us like that. You become a real stakeholder in this community. And everybody is getting to the money right now. Don't act like Black people broke. Y'all ain't, we can play all day like we got two nickels to rub together, to make a dime, so we can get some wine. But we got some money now, Mama. Mama Claire got probably like 100,000 right now, right? No, but listen, I want us to really start putting that money together to be able to be a force. And so now that we talked about, we got this grocery store. Now, how about we start talking about getting a credit union, right? So we can give loans out to these small businesses, these minority-led businesses that's in our neighborhood, these mom and pop shops that we deal with on a daily, right? That need the brick and mortar. We need to start looking at how we go ahead and put money behind our own candidates. I was just talking to Hill Harper early on the phone earlier today. And he was talking about his campaign and what he got going, right? The brother looking to raise money. But folks is out here calling people to say, hey, listen, man, don't donate to this. Don't spend your money with this, right? You got folks that's in a position, right? They trying to protect their interests. They see us coming. Better believe they see you coming. Even in the city of Flint, they see us mobilizing. They see us coming. They coming with a defense just as well as we coming with some offense. So we got to learn how to fight, and we got to have our affairs in order. We got to have some financial backing. So if everybody can't make it to the meeting, everybody can't be at the city council, everybody can't voice your opinion on social media. If you don't got a podcast or anything like that, that's cool. But we need folks to go ahead and play the part. We need to start putting our dollars, our nickels, and our cents all together, right? So then that way we come with a collective. We got a plan. We got strategists. We got folks on the front line. We got money on the back end. Let's go ahead and be about some action all 2024, because when you're trying to play this game, it's going to take some resources. And right now we might got limited supply of resources, but we got some. So I just want us to make it count. That's my plea to us as Black people, right?
All right. And city council Wednesday at 5:30.
Tomorrow? So that's tomorrow at city council. We'll be down there.
It might be 5 o'clock. Can somebody put it in the chat?
If anybody on the chat knows about Flint City Council meeting tomorrow, it's the committee meeting. It's tomorrow, Wednesday. Shotty Shaw, what time city council going on tomorrow? I want to say it's like 4:30. Be down there at 4:30, right? Because even if it's at 5:30,
that's right.
Be down there at 4:30 so you can get a good seat. This is gonna be a packed house, right? We already speaking into existence, and we're gonna be out there. Fli-City Blackout. Shotty Shaw said the committee meeting starts at 4:30.
Good.
So we want to be down there. Thank you, Shotty Shaw. We want to be down there. City council meeting tomorrow, 4:30. Fli-City Blackout. We'll be out there recording live.
And also, if you rather go to keep up with what the school board is doing, because we've got members of the school board fighting tirelessly to maintain public schools, Flint public school system.
Mm-hmm.
Before they got on the board, along with some of the other board members that's not there now, they were in the throes of a battle royale to even keep Flint public schools. And had they not fought the fight they fought, Flint community schools would have been gone. I'm just gonna tell you that. And you can.
And we come up from these schools.
Mm-hmm.
We come up from these communities. And listen, and it's a shame that I have to ride by and see Flint Central and Whittier looking the way it did. And I just remember the life of young people running all through in that area, and we were just that was our space, right? To be seeing it look like that for the past 10, 15 years, that's crazy. It's ridiculous. I was the last class before I went to school of choice.
Mm-hmm.
But we was the last, 2005 was the last class to graduate out of there. That was 2005. That's over 10 years ago. That's a long time, Mama.
Yes, it is.
And so when you talking
that's
about
almost 20 years ago, 2025 next
year. I'm talking about 10.
You trying to reduce.
Man, I'm trying to think, man. Yeah, man, that's almost 20 years. Man. I've been at school up with that. Man, listen. But that is a shame to see Flint Central and all my Flint Central nights. You should have been in Indy, right? Just to see that, people, we do got good people on the school board that's fighting for the cause. We got good people that really want to see those schools come back, right? Some of the schools are dead. We'll acknowledge that. But then some of the schools we can salvage. And like us as community residents, right? We should be talking about how we're going to support these schools, because if you understand how the tax breaks and the tax property work in the community, listen, if the school go down in your neighborhood, then your property value breaks down. It comes down. So we want you to have value. We want you to be in a financial state of mind. So when we got buildings and commercial properties all in the area, we want those to be up and fully functioning. We want everybody to own their own home. You pay more in rent at apartment space with everybody else than you will pay for a mortgage. And those things, sometimes you got to be able to go ahead and account for that. But then also ownership is where it's at. Own your own properties, right? Make sure that you putting those life insurance policies on family members, right? I think we having a good conversation about with our family, like how we gonna go ahead and start planning for the future. We talking about creating generational wealth. That's how we change the makeup of our society. That's how we'll start looking at putting real folks that's gonna really be out there fighting and making change, not just us surviving. I'm sick of us just talking about we got to survive in the city. I'm talking about now we want more. We want more than just survive. We want to thrive.
That's right.
We want to be living good. We want our children to be looking good. We want to send our children to schools that's in our neighborhoods, right? Or at least here in Flint.
Yeah.
We want to stop sending our children out to them private complexes, them private schools, them charter schools. They performing way lower than the public schools were performing. But we think just because they got a new building or they got a new charter, right? We think that that's going to be something special. In all actuality, it's not. And we got to be about going back to the old ways. We got to be educating our youth in our own neighborhoods. We should be having freedom houses all around, like at least in 8-block radius, we should have freedom houses all around the neighborhoods. We're talking about cultural awareness. We talking about cursive. We talking about mathematics. We talking about spirituality. We hitting up on the topics that they ain't learning in school. They not even learning about civics in school no more.
No, that's right.
They don't learn. Remember, like the bill. It was a bill song that we used to learn. We used to sing that when we was children. We used to know how to write a bill, sit and mail. We had, carpentry. Yeah, welding. We had all this stuff going on in school. We need to be taking a hold of that. And that's only in the public education.
So we got we got things to do. You got, when you're at home and got free time, you're gonna watch At the River I Stand, and you're gonna come to city council at 4:30 if you can, and you're gonna go to ALA for the Flint Board of Education if you can go there. And either way it go, you can at least watch it, because we got to keep up with what's going on, because the devil is busy. But guess what? So are we.
Come on now. So be sure to make sure you like the program. Everybody, stop what you're doing. Like the program, first and foremost. And then tomorrow, we'll be meeting at Flint City Council, 4:30, right? So we can go ahead and be on tab for that. And then our next steps about getting active because they're out there doing the recalls in Second Ward. They're out there every day.
Yeah.
Let's get with Beverly Biggs. You got her number?
Her number is 810-610-4599.
Say it one more time.
810-610-4599. So we got a short time to finish that up. We need to finish that up with a bang.
Mm-hmm. So you got 2 weeks, and then and those other wards, when we talk about 7th and 9th, please, if you're in the 9th ward, please step up. Where my brother Thomas Ross at? Remember Ross was in the 9th ward? He was a young brother. Mm-hmm. Tommy, call me, bro. We trying to do some things in the 9th ward. Mm-hmm. And then also we talked about having a water town hall, because if you don't know, the water crisis, everybody who's been victimized by the water crisis, those checks will be coming out hopefully here very soon. They said by the springtime. So if you haven't got a packet, if you guys need some more information, please contact us, because we want to make sure that all our children, all our affected victims are receiving some type of benefit, knowing the fact that nobody went to jail. Ain't nobody been held accountable. They swept it under the rug. They don't even talk about it on the national stage, let alone locally. So we have to go ahead and make sure that we keep putting that message out there and we keep talking about it. And so we'll have a town hall about the water crisis here soon. We'll be discussing that. Then also next steps, we have some prolific people there that was a part of the water crisis that will be kind of speaking to the tune from their experience. Jessica Edwards said, if you have free time, could you come talk to the residents at Court Street Village about voting? She's a wellness coordinator, and most of the residents don't vote. Listen, I'm glad you reached out, Jessica. Thank you for doing what you're doing, being an outreach coordinator. Listen, everybody, please understand the severity of voting. Understand that we have to vote. Like, it is no choice. There's no other options. We have to be voting. I don't want to hear ain't nobody did nothing for me. I don't want to hear I'm just one vote, because Karen lost by 206 votes just before the last election, right? So we need everybody to come out here and be voting. But I think we should hold a voter education clinic like well before we talking about even May. Mm-hmm. So let's jump on that, Jessica. Let's set up some time. Send us your contact, your information, so we can connect with you on that. We'd love to come out to Court Street, talk with the residents, and see if we can get everybody registered to vote and then get out to vote, right? We will be doing some GOTV. We'll be getting out there, right? We want to set up some transportation for folks. It's a whole type of energy. Listen, we might even have special guests at these voting precincts, right? Just like that. It's got to be a certain type of energy behind voting. So, any parting words?
No, I just look forward to seeing more of you getting involved and calling your friends, and it's plenty to do. It's room for everybody. And right now we kind of on a final push on that second ward recall situation. So
well,
and give us feedback after you watch the movie. Send some feedback.
What's the name of that movie again?
At the River I Stand.
At the River I Stand. I want to challenge everybody to watch At the River I Stand. Listen, that was the video we wanted to play earlier today. So if you can go off and watch that, be sure to check that out. We want to get some feedback from you. Maybe we can go ahead and dial it back up and play it again. This is January. This is Martin Luther King's month. This is the day that he's given. That was a champion for us in this culture. So to pay homage and tribute to that brother in his name, then we need you all to be about service, always about being of your civil duties, right? That's really getting out there, voting, being, part of humanity, connecting and protecting our elders, our women, our children. We have to be every bit of that. Right? We have to go ahead and really start organizing. Let's be a collective. When we talking about everybody play a part, let's be a group again. I used to come up when, a lot of the elders used to be sitting in the basement and they have a plan about all this stuff. They know who they pushing. They know who is going to be winning this election. They knew all this stuff, right? Well before. And they knew who the money people was and who was going to support it and how they was going to get the win. I'm so, ready to get back to that. I'm ready for us to be such a beautiful community again. I'm tired of us talking about the problems all day. I'm tired of us sitting up there feeling like it's a dark cloud over Flint. I'm tired of us recycling these sorry ass city council folks. I'm just sick and tired of that type of stuff. That is just like so. It's just like it pains me, Mama. I'm just saying it's very hurtful. It's like we did the same stuff with the last city council. Didn't it feel like that?
Yeah.
With
Kate Fields,
Eva Worth, and all the same old crap, right? Now we just got the people that look like us doing it. I don't know what the hell Quincy be on. I'm sick and tired of him and that nonsense. I'm sick and tired of Judy looking scared, like she don't know what's going on, like she afraid to step up. Like, Judy, you east side. You supposed to be representing with this stuff. You supposed to be understanding the plight of the people on the north side. That east side been looking terrible. I ain't never known it to be looking good. Like, you should want it to look good. You should want to connect with those folks on the south side, that 7th Ward. You want to connect with the north end because you connected on that way. We supposed to be about that, right? Eric, we need you to keep fighting. Stand strong, boy. I know it's hard. I know they on your head. I know that you just get tired and sick. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to keep fighting. You got to keep doing it. Forget about all that TikTok bull crap. We need to make sure that you're on the front line fighting here. And you get that voice back for the 1st Ward, right? And then, of course, man, 5th Ward, Jerry Wimpy Carter. Keep going strong. We need you to keep fighting. I know they censored her too.
Yeah.
So we need you to be on point about it. Tanya, stay strong. You're fighting in the fight. We appreciate what you're doing. Candace in the 7th Ward. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know why. It's got to be like this. I don't know what's the mindset. It's just like it's a bunch of nastiness taking place, and people don't like it, right? I'm just telling you, be real with you, be honest with you. We need better from our women. A Ward, Pfeiffer. And shout out to Pfeiffer, man. I rock with Pfeiffer, and I definitely want you to make sure you keep standing strong in the face of adversity, right? You know what I'm saying? Even before this council stuff, man, we had some real conversations, man. He supported some stuff on the back end before this. So, you know what I'm saying? Definitely, man, y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Stay strong in the fight. Eva, get your ass up out of here. I don't know what the hell wrong with you. Girl, you ain't no way you should be a teacher. And I know I'm over here cussing like a sailor, but you know what? To be honest with you, Eva, you are the worst type of woman known to humanity. So I just want you to know all that old standing up on folks, all that old talking and being a Karen, right? Listen, you know what? One day it's just gonna be some situations that's gonna take place because you brought it on yourself. So remember that, right? And I'm glad you did step down because we would have had to go ahead and run up on your ass. All right, well, listen, I appreciate everybody for tuning in and tapping out, man. Listen, everybody on Fli-City Blackout. We got a lot of sponsors. You might want to go back through this and chat with them.
Okay.
Be sure to come to the city council meeting tomorrow. The committee meeting is at 4:30, right? Make sure that you like the broadcast. Be sure to like it before you even end this live. Make sure you like it and make sure you share with your friends because they need to get this information. Thank you, Brenda Boyd, for always being a strong support and a suitor in this community. Thank you, Miss Bada, for always filling us with the information. We appreciate you. You are a champion, Miss Taylor. Thank you, Jolena, for always being dedicated to the craft. Ever since you've been out here, you've been on the groundwork, doing a great work. What's up, John? We see you, baby. What's going on, Kathleen? How you doing, Miss King? We appreciate you. She said a lot of people are using fake names and recalls for Liddell. What's going on, Yolanda? You're doing well, good sister. We appreciate you. We need you back in the building as soon as possible. Hey, what's up, Shotty Shaw? Hey, Jessica, make sure you remember to tap in with that information. Please give us your information so we come out to the court street. Of course, man, everybody, Fli-City, shout out Fli-City. Shout out to you, Miss Collins. How you doing, Miss Early? We appreciate you. We glad you came back, right, as always. What's up, Ronnie Moss? We appreciate you, brother, man. We get into it over here, man. We have a good time, but we be informative at the same time. Tracy, we see you, baby. Listen, long time no see. You got to come see your brother. I'm still on the same set, getting to it, right? Hey, how you doing, Michelle Ryder? Hey, shout out to Michelle Ryder. She keep me informed about the Democratic Party. That party need to go harder. I'm just going to say the Democratic Party in Michigan, in Genesee County, even the Black Democratic Party. Listen, we got to be more stronger, right? We got to be stronger. Stop Democrats. Stop sitting up here telling these folks lies. Stop trying to get people to vote for you. if you ain't gonna do no real work for people, people ain't trying to hear it, right? That's why you got a lot of Republicans. We got a lot of black people thinking about, okay, what is other than Democrats, right? Because we've been always sold on being a Democrat. But our Democrats really doing the work necessary to move us forward? That's another day, another question, right? All right, man. We and then she did say shout out, check the mop board. The mop board needs some revamping. That mop board is a good old boys network, and we need to address that too. What's up, Tia? I see what Sis said. Tell Sis I said what's happening. I know we had a broadcast set up yesterday, and it was just a lot of stuff going on. I was just in the process of regeneration, so I will be tapping in. We're gonna be having a conversation with her, but I appreciate you, Tia, and your sister. What's up, David? We see you, boy. What's going on, Aaron? We see you, baby, holding it down, man. We listen. We on tomorrow, so make sure you be in the mix. And everybody else who is on the broadcast, everybody just checking in. Andrea, what's going on, girl? Make sure you watch this and tap back in. Make sure you leave a comment, some questions. Listen, how you doing there, Denise? Thank you for being encouraging. Your words were amazing. We appreciate the motivation and everything that you shout out. ABE, what's up, baby? You all right? And then now we're going to close out this broadcast because, you know, it was always a beautiful conversation with Mama Claire. We'll be checking these chats. We'll be following back up with folks. But we will see you tomorrow at the Flint City Council Committee meeting at 4:30, live and direct. We'll be having it viewed on Fli-City Blackout, so be sure to be informed. So,
or at Flint Board of Education,
right.
6:30 at the ALA.
When is that, tomorrow?
That's also tomorrow.
So how we gonna? So we're gonna just split it up.
ALA, and that's the old Scott?
Old Scott School on Lapeer Road. So if we can get some folks if we get folks at City Council, that's great. That's where we need to be. At the same time, we need some folks at the school board because last time it was bone dry. So let's make sure that we get some people out at school board tomorrow, 6:30, and then Flint City Council, 4:30. All right. Well, we are tapping out. Thank you again, Mama Claire.
All right.
Give me some.
Hey, move democracy forward. Let's take our city back. I'm just saying.
Come on now. Come on. You heard what she said. Stop playing with it. Make sure you take the city back. Be sure to like and subscribe. And we are going to tap out of here. And then, we got to go. What's up, Jasmine? What's up, Mama? And we are tapping out.
We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce.
My city experiencing a transition from penny pinching, maximizing our dollars, multiply triple digits. I came along